They told you hard work pays off. That honesty always wins. That patience brings reward. But tell me, how many honest people do you know, who are rich? How many patient people died waiting? How many good hearts were destroyed by those who played dirtier? This is the truth society hides from you. The world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards strategy. You were raised to be predictable. To obey systems, follow orders, and call that morality. But the people you secretly admire are the ones with power, wealth, and control. They don't play by those rules. They use them. That's what Machiavelli discovered 500 years ago. The game isn't about fairness, it's about function. It's not about being the best person. It's about understanding people better than they understand themselves. So today, I'll show you 8 ruthless lessons that make you dangerously smart. Not evil. Not manipulative. Strategic. The kind of intelligence that survives betrayal, wins silently, and leads without permission. Because life isn't a story of heroes and villains. It's a game of awareness versus illusion. And after this, you'll never see the world the same way again. Machiavelli once wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few know what you are." Most people overshare because they crave validation. They think openness builds trust. But in a world of envy, every truth you reveal becomes a weapon against you. Strategic minds never speak in full sentences, they speak in chess moves. They reveal enough to be relatable, but never enough to be predictable. When you tell people everything, they stop imagining. When you tell them half, they fill the blanks with fascination. And fascination is stronger than facts. Loop reset. The more people think they know you, the less they actually study you. The less they know you, the more they obsess over you. Mystery is currency. And like money, once spent, it's gone. You don't need to lie. You just need to master the art of selective honesty. Because when they can't read your next move, you've already won. They'll tell you to just be yourself. But here's the flaw, which self? You're not the same person with your boss as you are with your friend. You're not the same person in love as you are in battle. So why do people pretend that one fixed identity is power? Machiavelli understood that survival depends on flexibility. A ruler, he said, must appear merciful, faithful, humane, upright, and religious. Appear. Adaptation isn't deceit, it's intelligence. It's knowing the code of every room you enter and speaking its language. The foolish demand to be understood. The wise make themselves impossible to misunderstand. Emotional loop. Be water, gentle enough to calm, powerful enough to carve through rock. Adapt, not because you're weak, but because you refuse to die misunderstood. This isn't acting. It's translating. You're not changing who you are. You're changing how the world receives you. Attachment is slavery in disguise. People think love and loyalty mean never walking away. But the more you need, the easier you are to control. Machiavelli said, "It is safer to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." He wasn't praising cruelty. He was praising independence. Detachment means being willing to lose anything that tries to own you. You still love deeply. But you don't beg for it. You still work hard. But you don't worship the job. You still dream. But you don't collapse when it delays. Because the less desperate you are for something, the more powerful you become within it. Think of every negotiation. The person with options always wins. And detachment gives you infinite options. This isn't coldness, it's clarity. When emotion stops clouding your judgment, you see the game as it is. Not as your feelings wish it to be. That's the beginning of power. People think power means shouting louder, dominating rooms, forcing submission. But the most powerful presence is the one that speaks last. Or not at all. Machiavelli wrote, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." The danger he meant wasn't confrontation. It was stillness. In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes a weapon. Here's the truth. People reveal themselves when you give them space to talk. They confess to fill the silence you create. They underestimate you because you don't fight for attention. And that's when you win. Next time someone questions you, pause. Count 3 seconds before you respond. They'll fill the silence with insecurity, and in that moment, you'll see their weakness unfold. Silent leverage isn't passive, it's surgical. You control the rhythm of any conversation by mastering stillness. Because power doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it listens. People don't crave truth. They crave recognition. If you can reflect their hidden fears and desires back at them, you'll own their loyalty. Machiavelli said, "Men judge by what they see, not what they feel. So make them see understanding." When someone says, "I'm tired of people not appreciating me," don't fix their problem, mirror their feeling. Say, "You deserve people who see your effort." And suddenly, they feel safe with you. That safety turns into influence. They'll listen to your words because they believe you listen to their soul. Every human carries 3 questions. Do you see me? Do you understand me? Do you value me? When you answer yes to all 3, you no longer need persuasion. You've already won trust. Use this mirror carefully. Echo their truth, not their delusion. Reflect hope, not fear. That's the difference between manipulation and mastery. Good and bad aren't opposites, they're tools. Machiavelli said, "A wise ruler cannot and should not keep his word when it's against his interest." The crowd hated him for it. Because he said what everyone already does but pretends not to. Morality without strategy destroys kingdoms. Strategy without morality destroys souls. The wise walk between. Sometimes, doing what's right for the many looks wrong to the few. Sometimes, mercy causes more harm than punishment. Sometimes, silence is the kindest truth. The key is intent. If your motive is survival, protection, or creation, you're operating with purpose. If it's revenge, ego, or greed, you're corrupting your power. Ambiguous morality is the burden of awareness. You'll make choices others won't understand. And you'll carry the weight alone. But remember, those who fear judgment remain ruled by it. You live in a time where oversharing is currency. Where people trade privacy for applause. But the more people know you, the less they respect you. Controlled exposure means being selective with your truth. It's knowing that curiosity is more magnetic than confession. Machiavelli said, "Men are so simple, and so much dominated by their needs, that a deceiver will always find someone to deceive. The deceiver doesn't always lie. He simply withholds. Let them see chapters, never the whole book. Reveal fragments. Speak in implication. Leave gaps that force attention. Because the mind can't ignore an unfinished story. In business, in art, in relationships. Those who share everything become forgettable. Those who share strategically become unforgettable. The less you explain, the more power your presence holds. The world is full of talkers, dreamers, debaters, planners. Few finish. Machiavelli said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past, the word broken is a necessity of the present." You're not rewarded for your effort. You're rewarded for your impact. Outcome obsession means removing emotion from progress. You stop asking, "Did I do enough?" And start asking, "Did it work?" Most people want to be seen working. The powerful want to be seen winning. They don't chase credit, they chase completion. They don't explain, they execute. They don't brag, they build. Because results silence critics faster than words ever will. Be obsessed with outcomes. Measure not by hours worked, but by transformation achieved. The world doesn't care who tried hardest. It cares who delivered. You've now learned all 8 laws. Keycap 1 Calculated opacity, say less, control more. Keycap 2 Adaptive persona, become many, remain one. Keycap 3 Detachment, need nothing, fear nothing. Keycap 4 Silent leverage, let presence speak louder than words. Keycap 5 Psychological echo, mirror emotion, guide behavior. Keycap 6 Ambiguous morality, live in the gray, act with purpose. Keycap 7 Controlled exposure, stay mysterious, not invisible. Keycap 8 Outcome obsession, stop talking, start conquering. Emotional payoff. These aren't tricks. They're survival codes for a chaotic world. Most people react. You will anticipate. Most people seek approval. You will seek precision. Most people want peace. You'll learn to control chaos. That's the difference between being good and being powerful. Dark intelligence isn't evil. It's awareness sharpened by pain. It's what happens when the betrayed stop crying and start calculating. When the powerless stop begging and start building. This knowledge is dangerous, because it works. Use it to defend, not destroy. To build, not break. Because Machiavelli never taught manipulation. He taught survival. And those who survive long enough inevitably rule. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Niccolò Machiavelli. If this changed the way you see power, control, and psychology, subscribe not for motivation, but for strategy. Because every video after this one will sharpen your perception until manipulation itself becomes visible. Until next time, stay unreadable. Stay composed. Stay dangerous.